All right, today we are going to be going through how to set up the profile slash follower funnel inside your ads manager. The best way to do it, the simplest way to do it in 2026. So you don't have to pay a coach 10, 15K to set it up for you. You can do it yourself. Avoid that anxiety, avoid the common mistakes that people make, and also the proven concept that we have used for our clients to get 20, 30, 50, 100 followers a day qualified so that you can message them, text them about your product or your service, and see if you can help them out. So in the next 12 minutes, I'm going to break it down fully for you so you know exactly what to do and how to implement it into your business today. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, let's jump straight into it. But before we actually get into the new way of doing it and the actual way of doing it, which I'll break down step by step, I want to talk about the old way that people are still using these days and still pushing out, which is absolutely wild to me because this is outdated. It's going to just lead to wasted spend. You're not going to get the same results that you're going to get by doing it the way I'm going to show you. So the old way that it used to be done is simply by boosting a post for profile views. You'd use a top performing organic post that was speaking to your ICP. You'd then create like some script specifically around this depending on what your business was. So let's say, for example, if you are a high-ticket education offer that sells property development, for example, right? So you would create scripts speaking about property development, speaking to property investors, speaking to people who want to get into property, for example. And then you create some carousel posts showcasing kind of like your story, your founder's story, philosophy on business, family life, etc. Just like build that know, like, and trust factor and decrease that sales resistance. And that'd usually convert then around that 10 to 15% mark. And you get followers, this is B2B now. You would get followers at about that $3 to $7 cost per follow. They would then follow you. You would start up either with a ManyChat automation, or if you have a DM setter in your DMs, you would start a DM conversation. From there, then you'd book a call, like anywhere from $100 to $150 is kind of a good KPI to have. And then you'd sign a client for around $500. That was the old way of doing it, right? I'm just going to show you the new way, step by step, super simply. But before we do that, I actually want to break out what actually this is and why you should actually run the profile funnel as a high-ticket coach or consultant the correct way. So, building authority, you get followers psychologically. If you increase your know, like, and trust with prospects, more followers equals authority. We see it every single day. If I jump onto somebody's IG page, they have 200 followers versus somebody who's 40k followers. Who am I most likely to buy off? Well, we'll all make that assumption that it's the person with 40k followers. Why? Psychologically, this person clearly has more authority, knows what they're talking about if more people follow them. You're going to get cheap CPMs compared to your VSLs, your Webby, your Challenger funnels, which kind of CPMs sit at that $60 to $200. You're probably sitting on a $20 to $40 CPM, depending on your ICP, depending on your TAM, on the profile funnel. Why? Because I'll show you again, it's the lowest conversion mechanism. It's the lowest conversion event that is offered on Meta. It's not a follow, it's a page view. So that's going to attract the people who are most likely to view your page. Most likely it is people who are doom scrollers, but if the messaging is correct, which I'll discuss in the next couple of minutes, you are onto a winner. And then, of course, low cost per calls. If you dial in setter, dial in DM setter in that chat, and obviously with your ManyChat automations and attracting the right buyers, well, you're going to get cheap cost per calls, which is why so many people use it, and they're scaling kind of from that 20 to 30k mark all the way up to those 100k months. And then you are building up a retargeting list. So you're building up a nice retargeting list to send to your direct marketing campaigns, whether that's a VSL funnel, whether that's a Webby funnel, whether that's a challenge funnel. You are getting cheap, high quality, low cost retargeting lists to give to people as well. And then, of course, the budget, what we typically run with all of our clients is anywhere from kind of like that $30 to $100 a day. That's usually the sweet spot that we see because it's such a cheap and the CPMs are so low, you're going to get a lot of volume. And then, of course, I like to be open and honest. What nobody actually tells you about the profile funnel, well, number one, it's, look, setup mistakes, they make or break your success. If you are not actually setting it up correctly, you're not setting it to the right places, well, you may as well be throwing spaghetti at a wall. Messaging is everything. I talk about this on the channel the whole time. Messaging is absolutely everything when it comes to ads, but specifically the profile funnel if you want to attract those buyers. Otherwise, you're just going to attract donkeys and Indians and everybody else in between that you do not want to target. It's the lowest conversion type. I've already spoken about that. It is best used as a complementary strategy. So we use it as a complementary strategy to our direct response campaigns and all of the clients that we work it for, and that's usually where we find the most success in not running it as a single campaign, because then, look, you're putting all of your eggs in one basket. Tracking issues, it is very difficult to track. There's no direct tracking within Meta. There's no direct tracking within IG. It is hard to track unless you're manually doing it or somebody's building a software right now. They probably are to be able to do this, but that is one of the main issues as well. If you're running an omni-channel and you are, let's say, a marketing agency, or you are a high-ticket product owner, coach, consultant who is paying people on a percentage base, that is one thing that can really, really affect performance. It's one thing that can affect relationships as well. And then of course, cadence of story sequences. The whole point of the follower funnel is to like obviously engage in DM conversations, but also at the same time, it is to get people to listen to your stories. Your stories is where you do the selling. It's where you do the emotion. It's where you tell the story. It's where you show your results, your proof, your own abilities, your testimonials. And that's where the selling is really done. And a lot of people mess up on the cadence. You shouldn't be doing it every single day. 2 to 3 times a week is a natural way to CTA. I wouldn't be CTAing 5 to 6 days a week like a lot of people do. Now, that is that out of the way. We're literally going to jump straight into the Meta ad account now, and I'm going to show you how to set it up from the get-go. Okay, beautiful. So we're inside the ad account now. What we're going to do is, I know I have one already there, but we're going to literally make a new one right here. So as you can see, you have awareness, engagement, leads, app promotion, sales, traffic is going to be the optimization event that we're looking for. Good for link clicks, landing page views, Instagram profile visits. It's what we're looking for. Click in on that. Never do this. Never. Whatever Meta tells you to do the exact opposite. Set that up. Then you're just going to put it as we usually like to do, ITU, e.g. just example client, and then we'll do profile funnel, and then we're going to have follows, and then the date 2206. Then simply what you're going to want to do is, as you can see, a lot of people do CBO. I think ABO is best. You can control the variables a lot better. CBO, you're kind of putting Meta's own algorithm in front of it. I think ABO is always the best. Bid strategy, highest volume. Yeah, wouldn't do A/B tests, wouldn't do special ads category. Click into the next. Then obviously we have this here. We'll simply just call this ad set 1 just for the sake of the video. Profile funnel, follows, and then we'll just say this one is the reels. Okay, so simply you're going to want to go into messaging destination, app, and send traffic to an Instagram profile. Going to want to select this one. As you can see, we want it on the IT digital page. That's fine, but we're not going to run on the Facebook page. The whole point of this profile funnel is IG. IG is where most people hang out. Most of the young buyers, young demographic, the sophisticated buyers, where you are going to be targeting. This is a key thing. If you select the Facebook page, you set it up wrong. It's what I said is one of the biggest hindrances in your success on one of these campaigns is the setup. So always, always, always only select the Instagram profile, right? Again, you can change the performance goal, maximize number of Instagram page views. Like I spoke about earlier, it is the lowest conversion type on Meta, so you are going to attract those people who are most likely to simply just click onto your page. So doom scrollers, etc., not people who are most likely to convert. So that's why your messaging is so important. Then we're going to go down here, literally set the budget. We'll set it at 50 a day. This is on ABO, so it's controlled at the ad set level, which is perfect. And then like in terms of your audiences, look, you can set an audience, but realistically messaging controls targeting, post Andromeda. You can put in all of the audience controls that you want and all of the restrictions and limitations, but it's not going to mean anything. Your messaging is what is going to convert or going to attract your ICP. If you are speaking to those people in your ads, they're the people that are going to be sent to you. It doesn't matter if, let's say, I specifically pick Ireland. It doesn't matter if that person is in the US or if they're in the UK. If I'm speaking to that person explicitly in an ad, Meta is going to go out and send it to them. So these don't matter a huge amount in terms of your suggestion. It's all suggestion based now. It's not control based. And then in terms of this, that's absolutely fine. Placements, this is something that's extremely important now. So you want to obviously have more settings here. Placements, so we're going to deselect Facebook, and then what we're going to do is we're going to want to have it right realistically on Instagram feed. Take off Instagram Explore Home. Perfect. You're going to want to have stories and reels. That's exactly where you want it to be. And then search results, I take it off search results. A lot of people would say to leave these ones on and have it running through all through Meta, but realistically, if you are spending it at a low spend, you are going to want to have it in the placements where people are most likely to see them. Nobody's going to see them in the Instagram profile feed. Nobody's going to see them on the search page. Nobody's going to see them on the Instagram Explore page. Where people hang out is on the feed. They hang out in reels and they hang out in stories. This is exactly where you want to be putting all of your budget towards, because you don't want to waste any cents. What is the point in doing that when you can manually control it? So this is super important. This is one of the key notes that I found in the 12K course I paid Nik Setting. That's all he teaches, which is absolutely fucking wild. But that is exactly what I'm giving you. And then you can turn that off as well. And that basically gives you the account setup, right? So that is the ad set, that's the campaign, that is the whole setup done. We're simply going to jump now into the ads and setting up the ad itself. Okay, so here's where you can actually get creative, right? So let's just say it's add one real one, right? We're going to use an existing post that's already on our page, okay? So as you can see here, it's going to give us some posts that we can use with inside our account, right? So let's say, for example, this one got 44 likes and 5 comments. This one is actually going to work well as a profile funnel ad because it's speaking to our ICP. It's clearly defining a message. So we'll select this one here. And as you can see then, Advantage Plus enhancements, turn them off. Anything Meta tells you on these, turn them off. They're not worth their salt. They're not. Now, as you can see, this is going to come up. It's going to obviously give the visit Instagram profile page, give the CTA visit Instagram profiles. This is obviously going to send people exactly to where you want them to go. Then, of course, you can do all this. I wouldn't worry about any of that sort of stuff. And then with the tracking, like I said, you can put the URL parameters there, but it's not going to make a huge difference because the conversion is going to be skipped. If somebody goes into your Instagram page and then they go into your DMs or they go into a managed chat automation, you lose them. So like it needs to be a chain for them to be tracked correctly. So if you lose them, then you're absolutely up to nothing. And there's another thing that I wanted to say about this as well is, yeah, you can create ads as well. So like the best way that you can use these is to simply think about the creators that you're going to use in your profile funnel. They should be speaking to your ICP clearly and in such a simple way. The carousels that you make, the ad scripts that you make, the organic content that you put out needs to be speaking to ICP. I need to keep saying this again because it is the one thing that's going to determine who comes through. You want to be getting high quality people through the door, and how do you do that post Andromeda? Is controlling your messaging. It's that simple. You want to literally just, if you're talking and you want to speak to property investors, you want to speak to young people who want to get into high ticket sales, you want to speak to people who want to get healthy again and they want to start a fitness program, you need to speak to these people's problems, circumstances, and outcomes in an extremely articulate way to get them through the door. Another thing to note as well, just one thing, is if you have an organic post that has been doing really well over the past, I'd say, early 72 to 2 weeks, don't put them into a profile funnel. Don't put them into an engagement campaign straight from the feed. What you should do is download that download that piece of organic content and put it up in the create ad section. Why do I say this? If you use an existing post and it is working really well organically and you put that behind, you put some money behind that in an ad campaign, not even boosting posts, but putting it into an engagement campaign, Meta is going to signal that, and it's going to weaken your engagement and your impressions, and it's going to weaken your reach for the next couple of weeks on your organic posts for the main reason that they see that you're trying to put some money behind it, so they will punish you as a result. So that's just a key note for you to say. If you are finding that something's cooking within the first few days, download it, put it into the create ad section. And then simply from there, it's literally as simple as that. Like I said, make sure that this is off as well. Text improvements, turn all of that stuff off. And essentially you are good to go. That is literally it. That's as simple as it gets. But of course, like I said, setup is super important. The creative, the messaging, the copy that you're using has to be articulating to people. I'll say it again, articulation has to be talking to those people, and it's going to get them through the door. So that's literally in the simplest way how to set up the profile funnel in 2026. In June of 2026, that's actually going to convert for your audiences. And just before we leave, I'm literally just going to show you inside one of the accounts that are working for one of our clients at the moment. As you can see, the cost per visits is pretty cheap. And why is that? We have 5 reels in this one ad set alone, but these are all speaking to our ICP. So as you can see, this is getting the majority of the spend. Basically, all of the spend is getting 90% of the spend. This is getting 5%. Let's go back here. This is getting 5%, of the rest aren't getting any spend. But as you can see, cost per profile visit 33 cents, cost per visit 27 cents. And then you can see we're getting about, in the space of 30 days on 20 euros a day spend, it's getting you're after getting maybe 1,900 profile visits. And I think we converted at a $7 cost per qualified lead, which is fantastic. So that meant that our DM setters are able to go in there, have conversations, book calls, and then close deals. So as you can see, it simply works. What you really want to be looking at is your cost per profile visit, your profile visits themselves, and then of course then your CPMs. Look, you can see the CPMs here sitting at about $7, which is really, really, really good. So what does that mean? For us, we're running this hybrid model alongside a VSL. So that allowed us to literally get qualified leads in the door at $8 cost per or CPM and have them in that retargeting list to actually then punch out with our direct response ads. And it worked in such good tandem together, and it's literally the best way to do it. Like I said, a complementary strategy is super effective when you're using the profile funnel. So if you liked that video, found it useful, make sure to subscribe, drop a thumbs up underneath the video as well. It helps me out a lot. Just to give free value, I'll be dropping a video a week based on messaging, best practices, funnels, profile funnel, everything else in between. Have an awesome day.